All right. Welcome to another episode of Spectacular. I am one of your hosts, Brandon, and of course, I am joined by my pal,
Mike.
And okay. And we are a podcast that reviews movies that we think we will like. And today we are reviewing the movie The Big Dick, a Big Sick.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, it's a Freudian slip. It's a Freudian slip. I just think about dick all the time. So The Big Sick, and this is a movie that I've actually never seen. Out of all the movies we've watched so far, I've always at least seen 3/4 of a movie or something, and I've seen nothing of this. And this we had to throw an audible, everybody.
Just because it slipped past you or because you're racist?
Oh, I would say borderline both.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But we had to see this. We didn't have to. We chose this movie because we were going to review Tombstone. But the unfortunate thing is that me nor Mike were paying attention that with a new month starting,
2022 from the future.
Tombstone though is no longer on Amazon Prime, so it just cycled off the first of this month. So we threw an audible and we talked last night for about 10 minutes trying to go through which movies we want to watch, and he suggested this.
I mean, it was actually FaceTiming from the bathroom.
Well, that's where we do a lot of our thinking.
Yeah.
That's where we do our...
Oops, this towel dropped.
You got to speak louder. I'm wearing a towel. It was going to be... We were talking about Wind River as well, which is a spectacular movie, but it's such a fucking bummer.
It's depressing.
And then Mike had also suggested... there's two other ones.
I mean, I didn't suggest it, but there was like a trifecta of depression.
Correct.
That was on Amazon
Yeah.
while we're looking.
Yeah.
So you can
Wind
have
River.
Wind River. Although that's on Netflix, but whatever.
Okay.
Sound of Metal.
Okay.
Also good, but super bummer.
Okay.
And Manchester by the Sea, which I
That's
think
right.
everyone else knows that it's a super bummer, but you know.
That's the one with Casey Affleck, right?
Yes.
Okay. Whenever I just think of him, I just think Gone Baby Gone. And
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's an irrelevant subject. So we watched The Big Sick, and it's about 2-hour long movie. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
So The Big Sick, as my phone turned off and I'm trying to get my face.
Conveniently timed.
All right. So a little synopsis here. Kumail. I'm gonna fucking.
You're going to fuck it up many times. And you said I'm the racist one.
I know. Kumail is a Pakistani comic who meets an American grad student named Emily at one of his stand-up shows.
Right.
As their relationship blossoms, he soon becomes worried that his traditional Muslim family will think of. Fuck that.
Did you skip lines? Do you know how to read? Do you need,
About what his
you need an
traditional
index
Muslim
card?
family will think of her.
do you need an index card to follow the
When
lines?
Emily suddenly comes down with the illness that leaves her in a coma. I thought I was going to say when Emily suddenly comes down with a coma. Like, I slipped into one of those again.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kumail finds himself developing a bond with her deeply concerned mother and father.
Correct. And so this stars Kumail Nanjiani. What was her name?
Zoe Kazan.
Okay. I feel like I've seen her from other places, but I don't know.
I think she's in like a bunch of rom-com
Okay.
things.
So then I definitely haven't, because I don't watch those kind of movies. Not to be like,
You're super manly, so it makes sense.
I literally ooze testosterone from my testicles. So
I think they come out the penis. I think that's how that works.
yeah,
I'm no
just the tip.
scientist.
Just the tip. It also has Ray Romano, Holly Hunter, and guest appearances by Bo Burnham. And
It's not a guest appearance. He's just in it.
Okay. And what was the other woman's name? The shorter one. She had her own show.
Edie
too.
Bryant?
Okay, yeah. She was on SNL. She's still on SNL.
She's
I
on
think.
SNL,
Okay.
yeah.
And she had her own show too on Hulu, I think. What do you know? Okay. Was that other comic guy, the Chris guy, was he an actual comic too? I figure like he probably was.
I think so.
Yeah. I feel like they all were. Because David Allen Greer fucking coked out. Well, it was establishing he was coked out.
Well, I read that, just to make the movie shorter, they cut a lot of the comic scenes.
Okay.
Just because, it's not like the biggest, most important part of the story.
Right.
I suppose like the family and the illness stuff. So there's a lot more dag in it, but.
Dag.
That's what you call him.
Dag or Diag?
No, Dag. David Allen Greer.
Oh, I should call him? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to say like dialogue, but you said dag, like you abbreviated it.
Right.
I don't like it. I'm going to stop talking about it.
Yeah.
So this movie was, I'm going to go on a limb here and say loosely based on a true story.
I think it's like super based on, on him and his, so it's written by him and his wife, Emily Gordon, Kumail's
Yeah.
real life wife.
Yeah.
They met He was worried about his parents, blah, 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 blah. I don't think it went down exactly like this. He never got disowned or anything like that. And then she got legit sick and was in a coma for like 8 days.
That's not so bad. Could have been worse. She could be dead.
Could have been 9.
If she's so smart, why is she dead? There was many parts of this movie that, because since watching it on Amazon, it has the X-ray feature, and I would kind of go through it and see the information about it. And there was that pivotal point where they broke up.
Apparently this was filmed in America?
Yeah, who'd have thought?
Crazy.
But the part where they actually yelled at each other and like she was like, oh, your parents don't know about you kind of stuff. That's all. That would never happened. Like they never had that kind of argument.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's funny. I watched interviews where when he brought it up to his parents.
Yeah.
And they're like, they were traditional, but they're like, either you stop dating her or you marry her.
Yeah.
But apparently just dating in itself is just the taboo, but.
Fucking Pakistanis, right? Jeez, get it right, guys. So loosely based on a true story. I never, when I see movies that have like that in the poster and stuff, like based on a true story, it can literally be based on like one thing and then everything else can be fabricated. Like The Perfect Storm. So the Clooney movie, right? Perfect Storm, Mark Wahlberg and stuff. Obviously those people never came back. So assumably they're all dead. I mean, they have to be. There's no fucking way. But we, as filmmakers, they just made everything that happened, and I just don't like that. Like it's even though this movie was written by him and his wife.
So you don't like the things where they can't know.
Yeah, I want to know everything about it, and then they reenact it. I mean, yeah, you're gonna Hollywood it up a little bit, but that whole movie, once they got out to sea, was all fabricated. Yeah. Okay. And so I don't like that. But if they survived. Or let's say, what's that fire one that happened a couple years ago with Miles Teller?
Oh, yeah.
Like that one's fully, as far as we know, like what happened because the one guy survived.
Right.
I cannot stand Miles Teller. He's a great actor, like Whiplash, great. But did you hear how he got fucking COVID?
Yeah.
Everybody, this is something I was going to talk about later in this. Get fucking vaccinated, please. Please, for the love of goddamn God, get vaccinated. It is not like Mike and I are vaccinated. A lot of people we hang out with are vaccinated. We have our own little clique.
The Vax Squad?
Yeah. So anyway, please get vaccinated because people are dying. Like, don't be a goddamn idiot out there. And it's not worth it.
Well, I was going to bring this up later as well when we got to this part of the movie.
Like, I'm like halfway in for my notes. That's when I say, literally, it says, get vaccinated, you fucks. Like... The main thing what made me want to talk about that is when they're in the hospital and it's a crowded waiting room.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And I was like, man, it's the same thing now, but now everybody's in there because COVID and they're wearing masks. Right. But
well, no, I was going to bring it up because kind of related to what I was saying with Hereditary when the son is in shock. Yeah. And he kind of acts, you can't, I was saying you can't really trust what people are doing when they're in shock. Right. I was going to give the parents benefit of the doubt. Not that they're bad in the movie. They're perfectly well within their rights to do all the things they did. But I was referencing like, also you can't really blame how family members act in a hospital either, because it's also a traumatic event and the things are changing all the time. So even if some people make bad decisions,
right. Like when they're going to move her.
Right. You want they're acting in her best interest, or at least trying.
What they think would be her best interest, yeah. Right?
But under crazy stress, and things can happen. Right. But the one note I wrote: unless you're just an asshole who doesn't want to wear a mask when you go to the hospital, in that case, you can fuck yourself.
Yeah, I like Mike and I talked about briefly before we started recording. Is that as we're setting up the microphones and stuff, is we very very briefly talked about Joe Rogan and how he. Like Mike said this, that like he comes off like he's has these like scientists and these guests that are very well educated with in their field, and yet he's like this idiot that is anti-vax, like, oh, if you're healthy you're fine kind of bullshit. But he got COVID earlier this week or something. It was announced he had COVID. And going off my point earlier with Miles Teller, I mean, he's filming that Godfather miniseries or whatever, and he's the only one on set that got fucking COVID. And because he's anti-vax as well. And as you and I have discussed many times outside of the podcast too, we know people a lot, I know, that are just anti-vaccination, that, oh, this is them. Like, oh, we don't know what's in it, bro. Or there's not enough tests done. Or, it's like, but what are you talking about? Like, you and I definitely get frustrated talking about it because we're not doctors. We're that is not our profession at all, but we rely on those people for our best interests to get this shot and to help with this whole pandemic. And for us getting it, or anybody getting the shot, it's making it for those idiots that aren't vaccinated for them to start getting back to their normal lives because of us. But yet they still have this mentality where it's not a thing, or it's being blown out of proportions, or still they believe, oh, that's how they're going to track you. But it's so fucking dumb.
Also, the tracking stuff is just insane, just conspiracy business.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Like we have a phone.
Yeah,
like that's the main argument that I hear.
You literally have all your information
Yeah,
like in your pocket at all times.
Amazon's constantly tracking me. Maybe not with my whereabouts, but like stuff I search. Right? Google is. Instagram. I mean, but they have their algorithm shit on. Like if you look at my Instagram like search thingy, there's skateboarding, there's shoes,
every
there's
banner
basketball.
ad that comes up on any website I'm looking at is fucking guitar stuff. Like, come on, like,
yeah,
they know.
It's all based on it's all based on your IP address, all based on your Wi-Fi. Like it's all there, and the cookies they sell all that data.
Here's where they draw the line.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm gonna get injected with stuff. Like it's so fucking stupid. And
well, because at least here's my problem. There's, I kind of understand where they're coming from to an extent, and I understand their hesitation because there's problems in all forms of police or healthcare, greed and everything. So there's issues everywhere.
Sure.
And I understand we don't know the long-term effects. Well, yeah, because it's brand new, right? Like that.
Enough. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's been in development for a long time, but like the stuff like, oh man, we don't know what it's doing with these people's bodies. Like really, like 100 million people have had this put in their bodies. Whatever.
That's what I mean. Millions and millions of people.
But also,
California alone had 49 million people
Yeah.
get their vaccine. Like almost 55% of this state is vaccinated. Yeah. Like,
so here's where the hypocrisy happens that I get angry at. Where it's like, hey man, we don't know what's going in this stuff and you can't be too sure. But then when you do get sick, you're throwing, even Joe Rogan said himself, it's like, oh, we threw the freaking kitchen sink at it. So he put everything in his body to try to get sick. It's like, oh, so that stuff you trust when it matters.
Didn't he put in that goddamn horse worm
like
deworming? Like what? Okay, so that's the other thing too. Whose fucking bright idea was that? Why would you put something that's made for a goddamn animal into your body?
Well, I think there's a version that is approved for people.
Okay, fine.
The one that but it's hard to get. So the one that you can get is the
horsey.
The horse stuff. So
I mean, what's next? They're going to be like, hey, horsey sauce from Arby's. If you just inject that too, you're going to be like, I don't get it. And that's the problem is the misinformation.
You had literal dipshits drinking bleach. So who the fuck?
And I don't trust
anybody.
What's the one that Trump was saying or whatever? Like he was suggesting pills or something, and then I could have swore.
I already forgot the name. Yeah.
Okay, I could have swore that I had read. I mean, I don't know how certain this is, like how factual this is, but that he had some kind of stake in that company too, like what he was suggesting. And it's kind of like, well, no fucking shit, he would suggest it because he's a narcissistic fuck. But anyway, everybody, please get vaccinated. If you're not already, get vaccinated. If you're gonna get that booster and you can get it, get it. Mike has his Pfizer. I have my Moderna. And I think
loser.
I know how dare
Pfizer gang sign efficacy.
My efficacy is down like 0.3% compared to yours, so I'm gonna die a lot quicker. The other argument,
I think it's a headline where it has like better antibody than the Pfizer one, but whatever.
What it does, it doesn't matter. So ultimately, we have.
You know how we're gonna settle? We're gonna arm wrestle. That's
we're gonna spit in each other's mouths more so. Because Mike and I, as we record this, we're actually inches away from each other. Like we're literally face to face. If I stick out my tongue, it can touch his tip. Of his tongue, not
no, just of my lip, bro. Don't make it weird.
Yeah, don't make it that weird. The other thing that I just thought about too is how people will say, not with getting the shot. It's their concern is not being tracked. Well, that is the concern of those fools.
That's just
fuck. I was gonna say something about the shot, about Trump. It doesn't matter anymore. I had it, and I was gonna go on a tangent more so. Just please get your vaccination, everybody, or wear your fucking mask.
I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but it's a movie about hospitals and healthcare, so fuck it.
Yeah. So if you're not going to get vaccinated, okay, obviously that's your fucking choice. But wear your mask when you're inside, or be considerate of other people. Like, just don't be a fucking
lost
cock.
Just all hope of anybody being. There was like 8 days at the very beginning where everybody was like, "Oh, we're all in this together." And John Krasinski had his like good news show.
Yeah,
and,
he sold that to NBC.
We're gonna make this. We're gonna make it through, and fucking clapping for nurses where they're leaving the job.
But then now you have nurses that they don't even want to get vaccinated. It's like you work in the industry.
Well, I heard.
Go ahead.
Rumor tells me.
Yeah.
On the day.
I got a little birdie on my shoulder telling me
that information is a little screwed because it says
screwed or skewed.
Okay, both.
Okay.
Skewed only because healthcare is such a wide spectrum of jobs and stuff like that. So you have people that don't have as much training as doctors or nurses who are skeptical, but like something within like the doctors themselves, it's like 90% vaccinated. So
It's just,
I'm just, it's not, when you say healthcare, it's not just doctors and nurses. There's, tons of people that work at hospitals are in healthcare, and.
I get it. And you don't have to, obviously being in a hospital, you're not always going to be a doctor or a nurse. Like you can just be admin, and you could be other janitorial stuff. Like, yeah, you're not doing anything that's with the patients and with that kind of practice.
So they're like actual medical knowledge, it's not as extensive as doctors and nurses.
But you're still working in a field.
You still see the results of everything.
Exactly. So you can see all these dead bodies. They're having tents outside because there's so many fucking people. They're out of respirators. Like, what is enough to show you this is a fucking thing when you have still people that are denying it? Like, I hate reading those things on Reddit and on Yahoo, on all these news places where it's like 32-year-old husband of 4, denier of COVID, dead. And he's like,
they have like the string of their tweets with
it's like their Facebook posts. And it's, what's the word? Is it breadwinner? Breadwinner. Okay. I think I say breadwetter. That doesn't make sense. Breadwinner.
In that case, you're a bed winner and a bread wetter.
Fuck you. Anyway, well, it hurts me to read that stuff because it sucks for that family. And
well, here's the issue too. We have all these people losing and being injured in fires. Actually, I don't think that many people died, but anyway. And then all these people who are dying from the hurricane and the flooding, and that
shit's fucked up too.
And they need medical attention and hospitalization.
They can't though.
But they can't get in because there's fucking hospitals are full of dipshits who keep getting COVID.
Did you see that footage? That's the thing. I saw some footage on Reddit of a football game, a college football game. I don't know how current it was because the quality was not the best, but it was literally a stadium.
Sepia tone footage, and you can
you can
hear the
you hear the shutter, the film. It was a literal stadium full of people, and again, the quality looked bad. So I was like, I don't know if this is up to date. But the headline said like, super spreader, blah, blah, blah. And so I looked around for other places to see if this was like a thing. I couldn't find anything. So I think it might've been old footage, but it just kind of bummed me out because I know there's places that are just slammed shoulder to shoulder with people still currently. And just get vaccinated. You fucking 40 listeners, 50 listeners, like just fucking get it done. Or goddamn it, wear your goddamn mask. Anyway, back to the movie. So Bo Burnham, this is the first time I've ever seen Bo not outside of a stand-up cine or like a stand-up special or him being like interviewed in something. And he's perfectly fine. I always
as an actor?
Yeah. Like, even though he's just seems like he's being himself. I always like seeing comics act because I feel like comics are better actors in a sense that I think comedy kind of like it helps them cope with, the being nervous of acting because you're in front of, let's just say not stadium, but like a room of like 60 people. It'll take a little bit of time to get used to people watching you. But then when you go to a movie, the camera being there, it's the same kind of situation. And I think Bo, again, being himself, I think he did great. But also, speaking of Bo, did you see his new stand-up?
I think like 3/4 of it.
Okay. It was good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
He had some good songs.
He did have like an easy role in this too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Because he's the funniest guy and everything's like, he makes a joke out of it. He's like, yeah, I wish I would struggle more. So, it's.
Yeah.
So the only issue I had with him in this movie.
He's tall.
He's tall and white. And everything comes easily
just
for
naturally,
him.
yeah.
Just get everything.
Yeah, you got the Montreal thing immediately. Like, you had one set.
Well, no. So he says it a couple times in the movie. Where he's like, hey, man, we get Montreal. Let's blow this town. Like, let's get at it. Let's move to L.A. or New York. Let's make it to the big city. We're
so
like,
easy.
Motherfucker, you guys are in Chicago. Like, I don't know, the 3rd biggest city in America.
As if Chicago and New York are that.
Like, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, man. People, no one who's ever come out of Chicago has ever made anything out of their lives. Like, you can't do it. Like, I know everyone moves to L.A. to, make TV shows and shit like that. But
right.
But he says... Like that, I understand moving just to more opportunity. But later he says like, hey, man, you don't want to be stuck here in Chicago like Sam,
As in the guy.
As the guy.
Yeah, that one comic, they're making fun of.
I was like, stuck in Chicago? First, I'd love to go to Chicago. I hear it's super cool. Like,
cold? Yes, it is cold.
But, I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
So...
They're not in, Wichita.
Boise, Idaho.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Like some hillbilly fucking... Yeah, I got it. Like, what's something I could think of somewhere in Ohio or
You're in
I did
Sandusky,
say
Ohio.
Bozeman. Yeah.
Although I wouldn't mind being there because there's a lot of roller coasters, but whatever, that's another thing.
I don't like roller coasters. I don't like loops.
Oh, Jesus.
That's why I like Colossus so much.
That's why you don't write cursive either, because you make those L's. Fuck that shit. Straight lines only, motherfucker.
That's why my signature is pretty much print. Like it looks like print. I don't like loops though. Like that's what'll fuck me up if I do them too quick. Now I don't mean like 'cause obviously the roller coaster's fast. I just mean if it's like
It's one of those 10-mile-an-hour roller coasters where it's like just all the pressure's on your shoulder. You think you're gonna fall out?
Yeah,
those ones you're cool with.
But I mean I could do one and I'm good. But if I do one and then one, like it's like bam bam, that's too much. And
There's not that many that do. They do the corkscrew, which
like
is
the barrel roll.
like the barrel roll.
Yeah. I think I can tolerate that. But to be fair, I haven't been on a roller coaster in a long time. Because amusement parks aren't really my thing.
Plus, we're old now, so it's probably not a good idea.
Actually, Universal Studios I'm okay with because those don't have any loops, but those have their like indoors. Have you seen those with lights on? Like those roller coasters with like, oh my god, it's just shitty as fuck looking. Like it's just so stupid. And I think it was the Aerosmith roller coaster ride.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It was in Disney World or something like that. But the person recorded it with the lights on, and like you could just see kind of everything that's going on, like the whole track and there's just little lights here and there because it's obviously you're doing it. It's indoors and it's just dark, but there's nothing to those fucking things. So it kind of makes me think of Harry Potter at Universal Studios and like the Transformers ride and stuff. How it probably just looks fucking stupid with lights on.
It's like as long as your cart is facing this direction, like it can just be concrete wall behind you.
Yeah,
no one's
and you don't know.
it.
Yeah, you don't know because it's dark. Yeah, so like we're right here,
Some
right?
guy in his brain just smoking a cigarette. Optimus Prime.
I'm coming for you. Megabots, go. So something about this movie, back to the Big Sick, Michael Showalter directed this.
Yeah.
And that just makes me want to watch Wet Hot American Summer. Like,
I mean, we're just going to have to do it at this point because I've not seen it.
I own it. It's just, we'll figure it out because I'm sure Netflix will have to bring it back. But because Netflix is what
it's not on Netflix.
It's not on Netflix.
I thought there was a series.
There is. So they have
the series is on there, but the movie is not.
They have the part 2 to Wet Hot American Summer, and then they have the series, like the 10-episode series of it.
That makes
they
me
don't
angry.
have the right, but they don't have the original.
Now we're not. Now we should not watch it just because I'm out of my rage.
But Michael Showalter, it made me start thinking about Stella, watching that old shit, and then Michael Ian Black, and who's the other one? He was also in Wet Hot.
David Wayne.
No, okay, maybe. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Who was the lead in Wet Hot American Summer?
I've never seen it. How the fuck should I know?
I thought you would have known. Okay, it's alright. I could look that up later. But no, I didn't, and I really enjoy. Obviously, it was written by Kumail, but I think everything that the shots and everything that they did, it was good.
So that's one of my concerns with romantic comedies. And maybe I just need to pay more attention, or I just don't know enough about it.
Sure.
Like, are there that many that are like aesthetically interesting, like with cool shot, like off the top of your head, can you think of stuff that's, it's cool shots or
by a comic like shot?
No, just like romantic comedies in general. You know what I'm saying?
Would you consider Scott Pilgrim versus the World? Because I would consider that a romantic comedy.
Okay, all right.
And that's Edgar Wright. Did you know really?
But that's like an extreme version of like style and all that stuff.
And also, I didn't realize that like almost all of his movies, Edgar Wright, except for Baby Driver, bombed. Like none of them have done good.
Well, I think Shaun of the Dead.
That's average. Like it didn't.
I mean, for its budget, it made a lot, right?
Sure. Like okay, yeah, I'll give you that. So Shaun of the Dead and also Hot Fuzz were probably his two most popular, but the one that most people know, which is the Scott Pilgrim, did not do well.
Right.
And then I've heard a lot of good things about the Soho one.
That has not come out yet.
It's not. It has not. But like the people that have seen it so far, they're like, shit. Like, Edgar Wright should have been doing this kind of shit sooner. But yeah, I think Baby Driver.
Why is it more like dramatic and?
Yeah, because it's not a comedy at all. And what's her name? Anna something Taylor is in it.
The one Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, from
Queen's Gambit.
Thank you.
Gambit.
Gambit.
No, it's Gambit.
Like mon ami from X-Men. Yeah, he's throwing his cards. Fucking rogue. But Michael Showalter. I've always been a big fan of him and his comedy. And was this nominated for anything?
Only screenplay.
That's whack.
For Kumail and Emily.
That's whack. Because I know they didn't win. Yeah. That'd been tight.
Well, that's the thing I was trying to point to. If they're not like interesting, like it all just lies on the performances and the writing, right? Like if.
And I thought the performances were great.
Yeah, they're
everybody in the movie. Even when Ray Romano was like in the club and he was screaming like, "This elevator goes all the way fucking down, motherfucker!" Like I was like, "What is that? How does that make sense? The elevator goes down." I know what he's saying.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, I would have never thought of anybody ever saying that way. But like him and Holly Hunter.
That's kind of like his thing. Like he doesn't quite say the right thing at the right time.
Right. Oh yeah. Like when they're both in their beds talking about shit. Like he went twice trying to say, he's like, that doesn't really make sense either. He's like, hearing his voice though, I always think of the Venture Brothers.
Was he in that?
No, but he was one of the voices in Venture Brothers. It was Henchman 24, which was the Monarch, the villain, the Monarch, his henchman. And the voice was, hey, what are you doing? Come on, we got to do it.
You went a little Arnold there, but
come on, let's do it. So that's Arnold. Hold on, let me do it again. You're making eye contact with me.
Oh, shit. No, that's good either.
My name is Ray Romano, and my brother's... I can't do it anymore.
Turned into fucking Fozzie Bear, motherfucker.
Fozzie Bear? No, Fozzie Bear is like... let me think. Fozzie Bear. So from Muppets. Hey, my name's Fuzz. Nope.
Thus concludes another episode, another mini episode of terrible impressions.
Yeah.
Featuring Mike and Brandon.
Mike and Brandon doing impersonations of only Arnold, which is... even then is pretty average at best. I don't know if we do any other...
I mean, you can kind of... You know who it is, at least.
Right. Well, Arnold is...
Let's hear your Christopher Walken. Let's see.
Hey there. Okay.
I got a fever.
Yeah. Here we go.
What's your cat?
I think... So what I want to do is the Simpsons impersonation of him. When he's like, scooch closer. Scooch closer, kid. You. And I can't... Because that's an impersonation of him already.
Yeah.
And then obviously the cowbell.
I want to say it's Jay Moore doing his Christopher Walken.
Did Jay Moore do a lot of voices in Simpsons?
What? Well, no, but that was he's doing that one, I think.
Oh. Either way, I don't think I have a good Walken. My Arnold is probably my best impersonation. Mm-hmm. I used to do a really good Cartman from South Park, but then I hit puberty and then that was gone. Thinking about it, South Park's been around for fucking almost 20 years. Or if not 20 years.
Yeah, it's like 25 years now, I think.
Fucking A. Let me look that up real quick as you talk. But the pictures that they were showing of him in high school, those are pretty... His hair looks so good. Yeah. Like if I had my hair like that, I think I would have been pumped by that.
I gotta say, so everyone made the big deal about him getting super buff for the Eternals, right?
Correct.
It was like,
he was very veiny.
Right. At least in the beginning of this movie, at least maybe profile-wise, not a bad-looking dude.
No.
Like, he has, like, kind of a beaky, like, a pointy nose a little bit. Like, when you look at him kind of straight ahead.
Okay.
But, like, what if he's, like, especially, like, the scenes where he's driving, because he's an Uber driver, so he drives a lot in the movie. Like, you know what? That guy's not bad-looking.
Wasn't he in Stuber?
Yeah.
And he was another... So was this part two... Was he the same character, same universe?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like it. South Park's been around since 1997.
Yeah.
So well over 20 years. We're talking 23 years, 25 years.
Why do you do this to yourself every time?
24 years. 24 years South Park has been around. I can't help that I'm not.
24 years.
I know. I got it. I did the math. So 3 plus 7 makes it 10. And then it's 2021 and it was 1997. I got it. I can do this. It takes
I don't mean to make fun of him. He does this to himself. He brings up the numbers and then fucking has to do it in his head.
And look, and you see me struggle and you just laugh at me. You see my eyes going back and forth. I'm like, oh God. And he's just looking at me like just anticipating the mockery. And then I start to sweat more.
Put your fingers up and count on your fingers. Mm-hmm. I won't mention a fucking thing. He'd be like,
how do you even do that? How do you do 97? Okay, I don't want to get into it.
If you go to 2017,
correct,
and then count up,
right. That's what I'm saying. So that's the math 18, that I did.
19,
so
20,
I use 7
21
because I know from 7 to 10 there's 3, and then so obviously 2017 to 2020.
Look at the square root of 9 is 3. We can all agree on that.
Yes.
Right?
E equals MC squared.
That's
and
a primer.
Pi is 3. The first couple numbers of pi is
3.1415. Yeah.
And I know about remainders and long division. I did not excel in math. To all my old math teachers, you did the best. You did the best. You did the best you could, and it's still your fault. So who was that? Who taught me? It doesn't matter because people could probably look that up.
Yeah.
Not that really matters that much.
Mr. Jones, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's something generic. For you. Yeah, Mr.
I'm assuming you're dead because you were like 80 when you were teaching me.
Yeah. And he was
still using an abacus.
That's what I was about to ask you. What's the one with the fucking beads that they go across? And he would tell time with a sundial, that motherfucker. So, but no, his high school photo, I was like, he's not a bad looking dude at all. Remember when I sent you that photo of me as a sophomore the other day with my hair? Like,
oh yeah, that was fun.
I mean, what was that fucking hair? Like, I mean, that was a look back then, and people seemed to like it. It
was Kumail-esque.
No, mine looked like a fucking mushroom top.
Yeah.
Like it was gnarly. Maybe we'll post a picture of that. Do you have any photos of you in high school? We'll post those up.
I mean, probably.
Okay. Your mom has to have something.
I probably had like a bangs.
Yeah.
Like
side
a
bang.
like a nice bang.
Like a gothic.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
More
Okay.
more emo-y.
Okay. With a Slipknot shirt.
Hell yeah.
Do you like Slipknot?
I did like Slipknot.
You're a fool.
Hell
You're a damn
yeah.
fool. You know, I go to you for music, and that actually tarnishes everything. You might as well listen to ICP.
So the Limp Bizkitness, you're cool with that.
I was definitely, yeah, that's fine.
Slipknot, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah. Limp Bizkit I was into too. Yeah. What is it? It's My Way of the Highway. That's the bad Fred Durst. Didn't he have a sex tape come out?
I don't know. I hope not. For my eyes' sake.
Yeah, so you don't bleed from your eye sockets.
They're having like a little resurgence.
They are.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah,
when
I've
they
seen
did
that. I've seen
Lollapalooza,
that.
everyone's all pumped.
Mm-hmm. Did you see there's that video a guy posted on Reddit too from his apartment in Chicago? Like he was watching it live on his computer, then he walked outside to his patio. It was a weird flex too. But like from his patio, he like zoomed down to see all those people.
Hey, check out my $5,000 apartment that I can watch.
Yeah. But then looking at what his setup was, I was like, maybe he does have money because the way his setup for his computer was and shit like that, he looked like he was an audio person or something, like some kind of editing or whatever.
They make that much money? They can afford an apartment like that?
You can.
Shit.
Like if you're working for a major place and stuff like that, absolutely.
So what you're saying is Bo Burnham's an idiot because you can definitely make it in Chicago. You don't have to move to New York.
Absolutely.
God damn it, Bo.
You fucking idiot. So
I knew I hated everyone named Bo for a reason.
When he wasn't praying, and my first thought was, I've been watching.
Kumail.
Yeah, Kumail. Yeah, when he'd go in the basement, and he'd just set the timer and just play video games.
So back to the movie. Fucking 45 minutes later.
32. Let's get that right. 32 minutes in.
His family's super traditional. Mm-hmm. They want him to get arranged married.
Right.
And they want him to pray, be a good Muslim. Go ahead, hit it.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, I was going to talk about religion briefly and how I don't know anything about it still. Like, to this day, I was baptized, which is baffling to me. And
you think the water would have just boiled before it hit your skin?
Being cllose enough, it would have started boiling. Then as they poured it to hit my head, it would just evaporate.
Like when Homer eats the water when he eats the chili pepper? It like evaporates?
Because it's so hot. Yeah. Have to put wax on his fucking tongue. I was baptized at a very young age, against my will, mind you. So if I could have had a choice, I would have said,
do you have a will when you're like one? Like you just poop and eat things?
Well, here's the thing.
Sleep.
I did it. Ultimately, against my will. It's fine, though. I'll allow it. I was baptized. I went to Catholic stuff.
School?
No, I don't think it was school.
Oh, you went to catechism.
What the fuck is that?
Okay, well.
See, that's the other one. My grandma.
We get it now.
My Filipino grandma.
It all makes sense.
Yeah, my Filipino grandma, she...
Oh, yeah, Filipinos are super Catholic.
Yeah.
That's right.
She, when I was younger, my brother and I, she pushed us to go to church. And I believe my mom was the one who didn't really care about it. And so eventually we just stopped going. So that's why we're going to hell. Mm-hmm. But I know nothing about religion. And
good, you should keep talking about this movie then.
Yeah, so it's a perfect example of why I should comment on religion. So obviously he didn't pray though, and he said in the movie.
So like, Muslims, what's that about?
What is the deal with Muslims? That was my Seinfeld. So did you hear Seinfeld's coming to Netflix?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Every
right.
episode.
Yeah,
I'm excited. That and Curb are probably one of my favorites. Oh, but what I was gonna say about praying and stuff like that. So I've been watching Happy Endings, the show on Netflix, which used to be a show on ABC. And there's a throwaway joke where they were explaining to another character that like they're making excuses to get out of something. And the one guy was like, "This sounds stupid, but I've been going to church," as his excuse to not go to something. And I laughed so hard because religion jokes are just funny to me. But for Kumail to not be into into prayer anymore. I mean, and how he asked his parents, like, why did you even come here if you didn't want us to be if you didn't want us to be like this, if you didn't want us to be, it's like, if you wanted me to marry a Pakistani woman, why didn't we just stay? And that's a valid point. Like,
I mean, that's the line that every immigrant family has to find for themselves, right?
Right. And
like,
that's why I think
level of assimilation and a level of tradition that you're trying to maintain.
Right. And that's why I think for him, he obviously immigrated. He came here. He and his brother, his mom, and his dad all came here. And the brother got set up, and he's married. But he's gone through many of his look who came by, and he's not interested in any of them because he's more interested in his newer lifestyle. So that's not the praying, meeting these other women that aren't Pakistani, that are whatever race they are. And I would think that that'd be something how a lot of people would be coming to this country, like with the possibilities that are there, like to not be as devoted to your religion anymore because there's so many other great things. Like, and it's kind of makes you think of other things with religion, how, not to put any on blast, but like Christians, how they will be all about acceptance and stuff like that. But yet when it's someone that's like a homosexual or something, like, oh no, like how can you accept one, but then like you're all about being open and accepting and loving, but yet not like this kind. And it's just, I don't get it.
It's the hypocrisies that everyone has.
Right.
In their life. Like,
right.
Oh, I'm cool with this and I'm not cool with this. And
they'll pick
like
and
there's
choose.
Somebody
like anti-vaxxers, they'll pick and choose
exactly.
what information they want to believe in. Like that fucking movie, Around the Curve. What's the one about flat earthers?
Above the Curve? Maybe?
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. How they prove themselves wrong many times and they still don't believe it because it goes against what they like. Oh shit. Like that can't be right. This just proved that we're wrong. Like
that's how all that bias works. Like you just keep continually like just look up stuff that agrees with your position and just ingrains you further in that.
Right.
But you know, it's funny. At work, I got challenged.
Ooh. What kind of challenge? A sexual one?
Yeah.
Okay. Assert your dominance with masturbating and eye contact?
Naked wrestling. Naked leg wrestlings where you like hook your legs together.
Oh, no, you have the rubber band to your ear like the Russians do and you have to pull away slowly. I don't think it's rubber band actually. I think it's just string. And have you seen those fucking things?
No.
Oh my fucking God. Like they'll be bleeding from their ears. Ugh. Anyway, continue.
But it had to do, actually it kind of relates to our episode on Chinatown when we were talking about Roman Polanski.
Ugh.
Like where do you, or can you, which we both seemed like we're fairly willing to do it, but like separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
So he was talking about like, well, how can you support these artists if you don't believe or you don't agree with some of the things you know that they do? And I brought up like Led Zeppelin.
How they stole all their songs or some of their songs?
I mean, stole all their songs or, you know, banging 14-year-olds in the fucking...
Yeah.
At
and
the, you know, tour at bus. The arena.
Yeah.
The tour bus. And he's like, well, then how can you support them? Like, I don't know if I'm like supporting them. I'm not going out buying their albums. I might have been wearing a Led Zeppelin shirt at the time. You know, but like... And it just made me like... Oh. I mean, it kind of makes me a hypocrite. Because like other people... It does happen where I'm like, man, fuck that guy for saying this thing.
Yeah.
But then other people, I'm like, you know, you're willing to give him, you know, fucking Michael Jackson. There's millions of people willing to give him a pass.
Like, but his music's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I get that, and that is hypocrisy too.
Yeah.
Because you got.
I'm just saying, like, I'm guilty of it as well. Like, we're all guilty of it.
Like Kevin, you know, we talked about Kevin Spacey. We talked about, like you said, Roman Polanski. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the thing though. So.
But even like the new, like, there's like a. Eric Clapton had some bunch of anti-vax bullshit.
Yeah.
And then I looked into it. He's like, oh, he's kind of racist too, like back in the day. And then, so I'm like,
yeah.
But it's easy to like look down on them if you don't like them to begin with. I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that guy was an asshole.
Like Franco.
I know exactly.
Like me and Franco. Yeah, I never liked Franco.
Don't get me fucking started on James Franco. Like,
I can't.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was just looking for a reason to hate that motherfucker, and like
it's
gladly they presented themselves on a platter. So it's
the thing about it too is I remember when you said you saw the 138 hours or whatever it is, the one where he has arm
128 hours.
128 hours. How you said you liked the movie and shit, and I was like, ugh, you like Franco? And then I don't think we ever really talked about it, but I don't. Again, to this day, I've never liked him, and not in a sense of. At first, it wasn't him as a person, but it was him as an actor. I didn't like how he did any of his performances. Like, because the first thing I saw him in was Freaks and Geeks, probably, and I was like, ugh. Even though he played that character well, like his fucking skis, but like, I've never really liked that. And then seeing all his movies, he's pretty much the exact same kind of the same similar character. And yeah, so obviously when his shit came out.
Not funny and not charming or nothing.
Yeah.
He's a blank slate of nothingness. He
when
pretends to be intelligent.
When he was cast in, did he go, not allegedly, he went to Harvard or some shit.
He was enrolled in like 3, postdoctorate programs. Yeah. Fucking whatever.
Right. But then
doctorate programs.
When he was cast as Harry Osborn in Spider-Man, I was very bummed out. And Like, did you see the Spider-Man trailer?
Yeah.
Kinda
I was
excited.
listening in a restaurant though, so it was hard to hear.
It's good. It looks fun. Looks like Doctor Strange is gonna be in it a lot.
Yeah.
And I like Strange. Anyway, yeah, Franco. I've never. I think the only thing I ever liked him in was the second Alien one. Not Prometheus, but fuck, I own it too. Whatever the next one that has Danny McBride and Waterhouse. But he was
Covenant.
yeah, because he dies in the first like 5 minutes.
He's in that movie?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's married to Waterhouse and Catherine Waterhouse. Waterhouse?
Yeah.
Okay. I like her a lot. She's fucking tall.
Yeah.
Like she's like 5'10". Anyhow, so back to this movie. There's the talent guy that was at the clubs. He kind of reminded me of Bob Saget.
He looked exactly like Bob Saget.
Like just Bob Saget's cousin, Rob Laggett, and I guess he could have the same last name.
That's the same first name, Rob and Bob.
Robert. Oh, it is Robert. You're right. So they're both Robert. One goes by Bob, the other goes by Rob. Hey, I'm Bob and I'm Rob. Isn't that the same thing? Shut up. But he could still have the same last name, so he could be Rob Saget and Bob Saget. But he looked just a little shorter and a little more full, like in the face. But
yeah.
Everything else about him, the thin glasses, like everything. And I like Bob Saget. Yes, he's a fucking kind of a creep, but like he's like a legit dude. Like he has like the very.
I just think his stand up is out there.
Right. Like super gross,
yeah.
But yet he's a super fucking cool dude. Like he's very vulgar, but yet he was like truly like a father to Mary Kate and Ashley when they're doing the show. He looked after them and like all this stuff. Him being actually a standout dude.
Well, that's the thing where it's like, yeah, your art is extreme, but you're a decent person, so shouldn't have an issue. It's when it's the other way around, where
concerning.
You're the king of pop having fucking all these kids, and you're
Bill
in the
Cosby.
video like, oh, that one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You have this persona being this clean cut dude, but behind the scenes you're finger blasting a 14-year-old
monster.
Yeah. Well, did you see that article about the FBI agent that was supposed to be looking into like child pornography, and he got caught with child porn? Like he got caught for his own thing. Like he's supposed to be stopping
all on his own.
Yeah, like fucking. I don't get it.
I do like how when those guys get caught, it's never like, oh, he had a photo of a kid in a bathing suit.
Yeah.
No, he had 10,000
hard drives. Yeah. He had like 16 14 terabytes of
14 2-terabyte hard drives.
And keep in mind, a terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes.
Yeah.
And even having a standard computer now is maybe 500 gigabytes for a hard drive. And even that, you'll probably your lifespan of that computer without filling that up.
Nope.
And
it's effort.
Right.
To get
that much shit. And I, on my computer,
unless it's like 4K video, maybe.
You're right. Even 8K. And it's an hour and a half long each one. But I have my startup drive is 500 gigs and it only has the OS on there. And then I have another one where I save all my downloads and shit like that. That one's a terabyte. And then I have another terabyte SSD just for editing purposes. So I can have that as a scratch drive. Then I have two 2-terabyte regular hard drives. And that's just storage.
Now you're making me suspicious of you.
Go ahead and look
too many.
Go
hard
ahead.
Drives. That's 3 too many hard drives.
Yeah. It's because I have, I think, 5 total. Because it's M.2, 3 SSDs. Yeah. No, 2.
All right. Now I wish the vaccine was following you. Because we need to keep an eye on you.
Yeah, I gotta go look at my computer, look at my search history. I have a VPN now, guys, so you ain't finding shit. So
we got him. He's in Barcelona. Shit.
Let's go back. Oh no, now he's in Spain, and then now he's in Argentina, and now he's in South Africa. But the scene where Emily was getting carted out when she was still awake before they put her in the coma, where she's like, "Where am I going?" That really bummed me out.
Yeah.
Like her reaction.
It's scary.
She's crying. She doesn't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. She's barely conscious. Like that was because her natural, the way she looked, even like a little sweaty look, and her eyes were all like dark and it was very troubling to me. I've never been in a situation.
Funny enough, she looked like Doc Holliday would have looked if we would have watched Tombstone. Like just
the whole
pale
movie,
and sweaty and kind of red eyed.
Constantly sweaty. Constantly pale,
coughing into his
tuberculosis. It was tuberculosis, right?
Probably.
Yeah. What was that joke that was in Full Metal Jacket? It was like you want to get with the prostitutes that are coughing, not the ones that aren't, because then they have tuberculosis, opposed to like some kind of venereal disease. Full Metal Jacket. Ooh, is that on anything?
I don't know. We can check.
Stanley Kubrick.
I say Kubrick.
Kubrick. It is. Yeah, Kubrick. Was there anything about this movie that really like stood out to you besides the fact that people aren't vaccinated and remind you of that kind of shit? But is there anything that really resonates with you?
Nope. Hated every minute of
Yeah.
it. I like that ending.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's not, you know, it's not running across the bridge
It's
and
not on the
kissing
nose
with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like, it's
cute.
nice and open-ended, but satisfying.
Right.
So that I enjoyed.
I really like the actor, the one that played Emily.
Emily, yeah.
Yeah, I liked her a lot. And
You know who her like grandfather is Elia Kazan, like legendary Hollywood director. Did like On the Waterfront and okay, well,
never even heard of that.
okay, well,
Yeah, the thing about Mike and I is when it comes to movies, Mike definitely has, without a doubt, seen way more movies than I have, and more like independent, more movies that are not widely released. Like, not that I'm like this. If it's not mainstream, I don't want to see it. Like, I only watch more like those big movies, but just Mike watches a lot more diverse, a lot more foreign than I do. So he will absolutely make references to things that I have not seen. And even TV, he watches a lot of television. Well, you watch a lot of Friends, you watch a lot of Office. If you could, you always watch the same shit.
Yeah.
I would say I expand more with the TV,
100%.
while you expand with the movies.
yeah.
And so usually you're usually recommending a movie while I'm recommending a show. Mm-hmm. But a lot of my shows are probably more comedy. No, you know
All
what?
British baking shows.
Get the fuck out of here. Reality television can suck my dick. But
Actually, funny enough, I think I watch more cooking shows than you too.
that's fine. And for someone that doesn't know how to cook, it's pretty funny.
It's just me masturbating to it 'cause it's like something I can't do, you know?
So, yeah, that part really bummed me out when she's wheeled away. And then obviously my next note would have been the crowded waiting area. Then I was just going to talk about getting vaccinated. So we already discussed that. Holly Hunter, when every time she talked, I just wanted to watch The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Like every aspect about it. Because she has that slight like...
It's like she's talking like this, like it's coming out of her mouth like that. Hey, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah. Can you do a Jodie Foster?
It's just more nasally. Just Dr. Lecter.
Yeah, you can't do as Dr. Lecter. Yeah. Dr. Lecter. Oh, God. Like
We're fucking killing these impressions today.
Spot on.
Man.
We might as well
You should just put them on the description of this video. Like, hey, do you love terrible impressions? Because we got the episode for you.
Yeah, it's almost like my bio for the last thing. You like grimacing? Because this one's got tons of it that Mike made me change. But no, Holly Hunter, as I said earlier, like she's been around a long time. And her voice is unique enough that I can tell. Like I'm pretty good when I watch like an anime
Actually,
movie.
kind of both of the parents, her and Ray Romano.
Oh yeah, right, for sure. But
that's my Ray Romano.
Hey, what are you doing? Come on. Hey.
He's keep going Arnold. Stop it.
No, Arnold is do it. Come on.
Fucking literally just said it.
Ray Romano's like, hey, do it. Come on. Like there's a difference.
Okay. All right,
hey, Mike, what are we doing? Come on. See, well, Arnold's come on. Like there's a deeper. Grungy.
Or you could, I don't know, pick another word out of the millions of words in the world.
Here's a good one. Fuck you. Fuck you, asshole. But I don't have many notes other than that, besides Ray Romano and the Venture Brothers that I truly hope. I think I had read something that I think it's HBO that's going to bring Venture Brothers back because they were canceled. Not in a bad way canceled, but just Adult Swim canceled them. And they were the longest running show that Adult Swim had. Now, granted, it would take like 3 years in between each season. But when I went to Comic-Con a few years ago, I bought the Venture Brothers book that I have somewhere. But it's like it's a hardback, like 400-page book that I wanted to bring because Doc Hammer and what's the other guy's name? The guys that created it, they weren't at Comic-Con that year because I was going to try to get like their signature for it and stuff too, but I couldn't. But a huge fan of Venture Brothers, and I know you had like 2 pages of notes. Was there anything that you wanted to discuss?
Let's see. X-Files. Did you ever watch X-Files?
Absolutely.
I did not watch any X-Files.
Not a ton. Like I would say the first maybe 4 seasons.
Kumail's super into X-Files in the movie. That's just wondering.
But is that a true statement as of life too? Was he?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. I like the show. I didn't finish it all. I know it kind of started getting a little weird once they brought in the T-1000 and stuff.
What?
They brought in Patrick's...
Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick. They brought him in by like the 5th season or something because the company was like, I'm out of this. Like, I can't keep doing this. I'm too addicted to sex. I gotta... And so... But I liked it. There's an episode that always stands out to me, and it's when it was X-Files with cops. They made an episode like that. But it was extraterrestrial, like monsters and stuff. It was really fucking good. Like they shot it like a single camera, like cops would do it. I really liked it. But a lot of that
I always hear about like kind of individual, like cool episodes. I always mean to like take notes just so I can remember.
I think it's still on Netflix. Like you can watch. Like it's on something.
Yeah.
But it's
well, everyone always brings up, or like an actor was in this particular episode. I think there's one with like Bryan Cranston where he's like a racist or something like that.
I could see it. I mean, early, like when he was doing Seinfeld still and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been around so long.
I was like, oh man, I should watch that episode or something like that. But I never get around to it.
No. You procrastinating Mike?
Yeah.
Do something like that? No.
Who would have thunk it?
Fucking A. So, any other additional notes? Because I'm essentially done and we're at about 53 minutes, which is pretty short.
All right, just a couple minutes here. So families willing to disown family members.
Like a drop of a hat.
Like,
they did that to him too.
Like, I understand, like, you're that devoted to your culture or your religion. But goddamn, like, that's another, like, hypocritical thing. Like, does your family really mean the most to you? Like, oh, family's the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
If you have, like, a gay son or daughter and you're willing to just
and immediately just
kick him
disown
to the curb.
Yeah.
Like, that's a little rough for me.
It is. And I would, then it comes to religion too. Like, there's nothing that I'm like that.
That's the thing too. Like, there's nothing I'm that into or
Right.
that devoted to. So maybe I'm just speaking out of turn, or we're both speaking out of turn. But
Almost dropped my cup. There's many things that, like my family, I don't even really do a lot with them. So it's just that.
You've been kind of kicked out of your family.
Yeah, like I just don't do a lot with them. But we obviously when we do get together, it's perfectly fine. Like there's no anything bad. There's no animosity and stuff like that. But when we get together, we'll go get some food, and it's just like it's like I just saw them yesterday kind of thing. It's just whatever, as you would hope. But when I see my mom too, which I never really see her, or my brother, it's completely different. My Filipino side, hey, it's like I saw him yesterday. My British white side, which I see far, far less, like I'm not disowned in that aspect. Like I love seeing my mom and shit like that, but I'm not gonna drop shit to go. I know it sounds horrible, but like what. You know what I mean? You and I have talked about this. Like, what is my white side? Like, they non-existent. While my Filipino side, it's all the time, pretty much. Not all the time, but just more often. Yeah. And my sister and I are similar when it comes to like our humor and stuff like that. Like and big ups to you, Ness. Like you, she's bought a house. I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
She got a house in Long Beach, and
no one's supposed to know. God, what do you do?
She got a place in Beach Long in Northern California, but she just got a place. She just moved in, and I'm super pumped for her. Just sucks that it's Long Beach. There's like no fucking parking, like where she lives and stuff like that. But whatever. Like, but yeah, it with families that have with that mentality that they're so devout to one thing that if somebody in the family goes against it or any kind of little thing, and they're just like, okay, you're done. Like, granted,
like really, so how important was it really to you? Like you're just
right.
You're just a hypocrite at that point,
right?
But whatever.
And obviously, for Kumail, like his family, depending on how the movie was portrayed and stuff like that, came around. You know what I mean? Like he still had a Pakistani wedding.
It's funny. It kind of mirrors him and Emily's the beginning of their relationship, because they were both like, or at least she was like, you know what? I'm doing a lot of stuff right now. I'm not really looking for like a serious relationship.
Yeah.
All the while seeing him like every night or whatever like that. It's kind of like how his family is at the end. Like, we are so mad at you. Your mother's never going to speak to you again. But call us when you get there.
Yeah, text us when you get there.
Yeah, so here's
your meal. She made this for you, extra potatoes. Like,
so really, they're like going through the motions that they think they're required to do, but really they're a loving family. So that's okay. But I'm just saying, just in general, like
it's just like it's how you brought up the if a family member was like homosexual, how they might cut him out. Like it might be at first utter shock, and so they're reacting like, oh my god, like I don't want that, but then realizing, wait, this is my fucking kid. Like, I love this kid. It shouldn't matter whether they're gay, straight, whether sexuality is out there, non-binary, like whatever the fuck you identify as. It doesn't matter. It's still your kid. And that's why I would, like, I have a...
you know what bums me out? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I have a few friends that are like, if my kid was gay, he's gone. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's not a good look. But what sucks is those people, they are cool people. But then hearing that, it's kind of, ugh, like, that's... problematic.
That's a flaw.
Yeah. It's...
Well, if that's the case, okay, you're allowed to act however you want, but don't fucking berate other people, like, acting morally or whatever, like, be on any type of high horse. Like, really? Because you're not on any high horse. Because if that's the way you think, then your morals are eschewed at the very least. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, literally, Jesus Christ would not like that at all. Like he's,
Yeah, really, right?
you know, fucking,
This is what you're doing it for? Like, he would fucking...
yeah. You know, you ask if Jesus was real, and you ask that motherfucker, hey, like my son, huge gay guy, he'd be like, all right,
He's 86, right? Nope.
yeah, no, he's cool.
It's like, you see all these
really?
prostitutes I'm hanging out with? You think I give a shit?
My
You think I'll turn away a leper, you son of a bitch?
my fucking mom, man, getting hit up by some douche doesn't even like, you know, it's yeah. Again,
It's
there's
hypocrisy. It's ridiculous.
right. And what are you gonna say?
I totally forgot.
Okay, good.
No, I know. Now I remember. So you know what bums me out
Yeah.
a lot is
Yeah.
those
peaking audio.
audio.
Okay,
me,
yeah.
me yelling. And
I
you have
gotta
to cut that
fucking
stuff out.
normalize that.
The videos of like pride parades
Mm-hmm.
where it's like the old white lady and she's like, "Oh, I'll be your mom, free hugs and
Yeah,
hanging
yeah,
out
yeah.
just for the kids."
Yeah.
Like that's a fucking bummer. Like those people like
Yeah.
coming up and hugging her because they literally have nobody. Like
Or at least no family, like no
no,
support.
yeah, no family that'll support them.
I mean, there's even photos back in the time, like 60s and 50s, of people like that. And you know, those people were probably persecuted and like yelled at and stuff for being supportive of people that aren't even their own kids. And I mean, I don't get it. It's 2021 and there's still tons of people that are anti this, anti that, or, you know, oh, because you identify as this, you're not going to heaven if you even believe in it, or you're a heathen, whatever the fuck. And it just doesn't make sense. But then the good thing about it is there's a lot more acceptance.
Yeah.
There's a lot more people that are growing up understanding this kind of stuff, having two dads or two moms, or learning about it in school, and which should be taught in school, like sexualities and stuff like that. And you know what you need to keep out of that is religion. No, that could be taught, but it's
But it's kind of like back to what you're saying. Like we have to like, you know, put our money where our mouth is. Where it's like, have family members that are kind of anti-vax. I'm like, all right, you're a shithead. I know that, but I'm not gonna like disown you for that. Like puts everyone in a hard place.
I mean, I have plenty of friends that are anti-vax, and that sucks. But you know, we're cool. I'm not gonna hang out with you, really. I know, really. I mean, there's many. When it comes to my friends, I have like 6 friends, like good friends. It's like you, and there's Alf, and Sobi and shit, like other people. But then I have tons that are just like acquaintances and went to school with them that I still see them on social media.
Okay, well,
and
those
shit.
people like
those people can go
being
die.
shitty, you know, eat a dick. That's fine.
Right. A big
I'm
one.
saying
A bag
like
of
the
them.
real important people to you, like you just. I don't know if you have to stick with them, but I mean,
No.
you got to make an effort. At least you got to try to.
Yeah, there's not
It's
a.
tough.
I don't have.
It's tough. I understand, especially if there's something that you're so devout to.
Yeah.
Like it's a huge tenet of your life.
Yeah.
You know, I can't speak to that. You can't speak to that because we don't believe in anything really.
No.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it's like I understand the struggle, but
It's real.
Man, struggle's real.
It's too real.
But if it gets to that point where you just want to just disavow your family members for something like that, like that's a
I think
fucking bummer. Look at a
the,
goddamn
the correct term
think
when,
about
when
it.
you
Think about it.
when you are exiled from your family, from what I have read online of it, because what I looked up, it's called wiggity whack.
That's the scientific term?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's in Webster's dictionary as it was when you're kicked out of your family, what it's called.
It's under the group name of Wackitude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that. It's whack, wiggity whack, wiggity whack attack, and it's just
mad whackness.
Yeah, whack to the max. So there's a lot of certain degrees of wackitude, but so this movie,
Wackosity.
what was that fucking that Old Spice commercial? Was fresher. Yeah. Wackest. So this movie, did you enjoy this movie?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so you'd recommend it? Mm-hmm. Okay, 100%.
100%.
Okay,
97% recommend it.
Okay, so that 3%.
That's Bo Burnham, that son of a bitch.
He's
Comes so easy to him. Smug motherfucker.
Yeah. Okay, so good. I would agree. I really enjoyed this movie too. Did you cry the first time you saw it?
No.
Not
that I'm other movies, yes, but this one, no.
I shed some tears when she had first woke up and she was so a little loopy on her from the drugs, the medication.
Oh, when she tells him to go away.
Yeah, she doesn't, because I knew there's like 20 minutes left. So I knew there had to be some, because script wise, it's like when when the guy gets everything he wants. So there has to be a takeaway from it. And
because that's the end of the second act, right? The third act is when she's
the third act is when he tries like he's trying to do it and he's still denied. But fuck, what's his name do it? Justin Roiland. No, not Justin Roiland. I'm sorry, Dan Harmon. Dan Harmon has his structure for screenwriting, script writing.
Whatever.
Okay. Anyway, so, but yeah, I definitely, because I think we talked about it, that I've been a little more emotional while watching movies, like crying a little more. But yeah, it was brief, but it definitely sucked.
When she went to his one-man show,
the first time,
no,
or after
the second time,
yeah, when she met the brother,
where she met his brother, she was going to tell him she still loved him.
I think so.
Until she obviously did. He's moving to New York.
Yeah. I don't know why she would hold that back. But maybe she didn't want to hold him.
Yeah.
She didn't want to keep. Yeah, I get that.
He's moving to New York 2 seconds before.
But I think that's what she would have said, or something along those lines. Like I
do like how it's a complicated relationship. Like it's fun to see
almost
that.
like real life.
Almost like real life.
What is that about?
That's crazy.
What is the deal? I need to stop doing impersonations. So, so I greatly enjoyed this movie. So now that it's the beginning of the month, and our idea, obviously, like I said earlier, was to watch. This was supposed to be Tombstone. We had to do an Audible. We're doing The Big Sick. And Mike and I were talking last night. We also were going to do Akira next. We cannot do Akira next because that's not on anything streaming. It was on, I think, Prime, and it's gone. And then well,
actually, you should maybe do like a survey of listeners and see.
Nobody's gonna fucking do that.
I mean, just see what some people might say. Like, do you care?
But then if we do that, then we can only do it for a week because then we would record the following. So we'd have to decide. Like,
okay, whatever.
What do you want to put on social media?
You said you have all the spectacular
that's valid.
things.
Yeah, you're right. No doubt. No, play it. Okay.
Well, just to see, like, if you listen, like, do you have to watch the movie? I mean, we recommend it, but,
right?
Or do you just like listening to two
dudes
idiots talk about bullshit?
Yeah.
You know? Which I also do
15
sometimes.
15 minutes of accent. Yeah, we
like
ramble a lot.
There's some podcasts where I listen to where it's like, we're watching these old fights or something like that. Sometimes I just like to listen.
Talk about UFC fights, by the way.
Yeah. Sometimes I just like to listen to them. Talk. Talking shit.
Sure.
It's fun.
Sure. That's why I think even us, I think what we should do is, all right, guys, we're going to talk about this. And we talked nothing about it for fucking
that's
an
kind of
hour.
how this episode went.
This episode kind of went off the
You might have to listen to it again. You're like, I want
to
re-record
it's going to get
this
posted.
one.
Nah, it's getting posted. I like what we said.
Going on tonight.
Yeah. So we can't watch Akira. And then the other movie we were going to watch, which I suggested, was Gunpowder Milkshake. But I can put out some feelers, make a survey on something. Because I know Reddit, you can make a survey. Twitter, you can too. So, shit. I'll post this. The website is basically done. I just got to pay for it. I have it all taken care of. I know. Money. God. But it's simple. It's just, and then I have to just connect it to our podcasting. So it just updates each one. But anyway, we will decide again. Everybody that's listening, though, we do put the movie that we're watching in the bio. So I do update them if we do change it. So if you looked at Dread from 2 weeks ago, you would see that I changed that even last night to say The Big Sick. So if you wanted to, you see before listening to this and just seeing the title, like, what? This was supposed to be Tombstone. Mm-hmm. So anyway, well then, Mike, what do you want? Do you want them to just suggest a movie, or do you want us to choose from them or give them selections?
I say the world is at our...
The world is their oyster.
Is their oyster. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to do that because that's too many things. So I think, if I prepare, so the reason why we didn't watch Wind River and all that stuff is because they're bummer movies. And I didn't want to watch a bummer movie. I do want to do,
like, that's a great goddamn movie. And
it is.
I don't think enough people have seen it. So
it's true.
I'm
and
cool
it's what?
That
It's
one.
Renner.
We don't have to do all the terrible, bummer ones, but that one, like, let's do that one.
Are we certain Wind River? It's on. What you said, it's on Netflix.
It's just. Look, I think it just went back on because it was not on for a long time.
Okay.
There's a couple times where I wanted to rewatch it, and I was like, "Where is this? I'm not paying for this bullshit."
Yeah. Fun fact: Mike actually paid for Tombstone last night. So by the time I had already called him, he already saw like half of the movie, and I was like, "Hey, motherfucker, Tombstone's $4. What's going on?" Not like $4 is expensive. I'm not trying to flex that I have money or something like that, but not that $4 is expensive.
I got paid this week, so it's not a big deal.
No big deal, but I just got thousands of dollars. But okay, we'll watch Wind River, and that stars.
Oh, we're deciding.
We'll watch it right now.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, we're gonna watch that. Fuck that. I don't want to give the selection out there. So we'll watch Wind River. I keep wanting to say Wind River.
Wind River.
I can't. Yeah.
Wind River.
I'm Baba Waffles, and we're watching Wind River.
You got another impression in right at the very end. Very nice.
I'm Baba Waffles. Nope, I can't do a feminine voice. So anyway, Wind River will be the
Jeremy
next
Renner
episode.
and Elizabeth Olsen, and they're in
Alaska.
reservation.
Is it Alaska?
Is it Alaska? Ooh,
let's-
that
well,
does
my
not
computer-
sound right to me.
When my computer's on right here, I will type this really quick on my tactile.
Click, click, clickety, click.
So
It's intense.
Wind River.
They're investigating the death of a girl, and it's
Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Takes
Yeah.
place in Wyoming. So
I knew
it's
that was on with there.
Corey Lambert is a wildlife officer who finds the body of an 18-year-old woman on an American Indian reservation in snowy Wyoming. When the autopsy reveals that she was raped, FBI agent Jane Banner arrives to investigate. Teaming up with Lambert as a guide, the duo soon find that their lives are in danger while trying to solve the mystery of the teen's death. Now,
We're gonna read that again when we do the episode.
you know what? They can suck a dick.
All right.
No, not our viewers, not our listeners. The other people, they can suck a dick. So, as Mike said, it's a bummer movie. Keep that in mind. It is a bummer. And if that synopsis didn't bum you out already, then I don't know what will, because you're a fucked up person. But our next movie is going to be Wind River. It is available on Netflix. So thank you for listening to this episode. Mike, why don't you take us away?
Wind River. Oh wait, I should do that show title. Spit crap. That's too late.
All
It's
right.
over.
You're right.